brief description of what a lick is. Like you said earlier, it's just a different way of saying an item that you've stolen, and that's our own spin on things. So this breaks down the actual lick itself. You have your rarity, that ranges from common to unique. You have your item quality. There's 15 plus varieties. You got your main item, which is the the chest of bitcoins in that sense, and the location, and also the gold value associated with that. So originally, before we launched the token, we had like a contest to where if you had if your wallet held a total value of 1,000 D gold or more in all your NFTs, you actually got a bonus of more of an airdrop on that token. This just breaks down the bags and boxes that are kind of pictured in the NFT, the backgrounds and the borders. This goes through our our tokenomics. We're available on PancakeSwap and also Adapt .exchange, so that's with our partner Affinity. Before launch, we did have an audit done by Desert Finance, so you can view that on the link there. And like I said, the max was 100 million tokens, and the breaks down of the tokenomics here. And that just takes you to the minter, if you'd like, 0.45 BNB each. Here's our roadmap. 10% should be checked off for the minted. So once we do
that next part with the once you sell 100%, like I said, you're very generous to your holders. So can you talk about those next two highlights?
Sure. Yeah. So once all these licks have been minted out, we'll have a random draw. So 10, like I said here, 10 lucky minters will receive their BNB back. So whatever you've minted personally in that stretch, you'll receive the BNB back for those 10 people. And once we do reach the 100% goal, we'll be able to give away over 100,000 in prizes to the community, and we might split it up into a charity of choice for the community as well. So we're definitely looking to give back a lot to the community. Okay, so the tier 2 here, this is just more part of the roadmap. This is our D Gold. So we have our in-house NFT marketplace, currently in our V1 stage. V2 is on the way. I'll be able to actually tease a little bit of that here today with sharing the screen. But so we did a D Gold airdrop on initial launch for the original purchasers of the NFTs, and it's an ongoing airdrop as well. So I believe I missed my mark on Monday, but this coming Monday we'll do an airdrop for anyone that's minted an NFT since the last drop. So you'll be getting some D Gold airdropped in that sense. So the marketplace fees to holders, as we get more and more volume, I believe once we get our V2 marketplace set up and utilize more with different collections, we'll have volume pumping through there for buys and sells. So a portion of the volume, a portion of the sales is collected as a fee. So right now, if you utilize D Gold as an NFT currency on the marketplace, there's a 3% fee, and if you utilize BNB, I believe there's going to be a 6% fee for that, just to incentivize people to move more towards the D Gold in utilization. So a portion of that fee will be returned back to the original Lick holders. So if you hold a Lick NFT, and we've reached some volume, once a month we'll be doing an airdrop and basically return back to the community for holding those NFTs. And there's the thieves for tier 3. So that is one of the female thieves as a teaser. I'll talk a little bit about those. So their weapon would be a bow and a dagger as the main point. And there's also 3 versions of the potion that you can utilize. A lot of these items are interchangeable, so a lot of these things will change throughout the minting process. I believe there's 5 or 6 versions of bow, as dagger, armor, and colors and whatnot. So that'll all change, based on the individual NFT. So 50% of the artwork is complete, so the females are done. I do have a version of the males completed as well, so that should be able to be updated to 100% very soon. And then it's just moving on into the contract side of things and integrating that into the game.
So for the contract portion of the characters in the game, will you have that audited before release as well?
Yeah, most likely we'll go with Desert again. They were very quick and efficient. And yeah, so for part of the team, a very small team. It's just myself and I have my NFT artist, Danny. Like I said, I have help from Affinity CMO, Zach. So he's been helping me, set up these AMAs and do Twitter and whatnot. So he's been very helpful in that sense. Yeah, that's what we have currently set out. And moving on into the marketplace, if anyone's interested in seeing that, this is the new version of our marketplace.
I do have a question about the marketplace. So I didn't go in there last night, and I was going to comment on it because you have to connect your wallet. I know for a lot of new investors or people checking out a site, they're going to want access before they connect their wallet to make sure it's safe. I know you've been audited and everything's good, but just as a way to get people in there and feel more comfortable with it, say, hey, I really like this product, to get rid of the wallet entry until they're actually going to buy might be a better option.
Yeah, so I can actually showcase that on this new version here. So that has been changed. So as you notice, I'm not signed in at all here. So you can view the landing page on the marketplace. And this is just the test version that I have. So this is the live auctions that are currently going on. These are just the licks that I have in my wallets that I've kind of set up. It posts new listings. So if you do list one, it'll pop in there. Anything that's reached the minimum purchase amount will kick over to the live auctions, and then a timer will count down until that's completed. And so yeah, I'm not signed in. You can hit explore, and it'll show the collections that are on there. So currently have the Thieves. They're coming soon. We have the Affinity Floaties as our partner NFT collection, and the Devious Licks collection. So we'll go into that one now. So as some of you might notice from the version 1 of our marketplace, this one's a lot quicker, a lot better looking, a lot faster, a lot more easier to use. So yeah, you have just a brief description. You have the NFTs that are on sale, the collection, and you can select the NFTs that are minted. Go through the collections that way. This one is actually for sale in there, so you can go to the details, and it pulls up the NFT image. It'll list out the attributes that are in the metadata, and this currently says all the different percentages. So this one will have, let's say, local hospital as a place. 3% of the NFTs are allocated to have that attribute. And yeah, so you can view all this stuff. You can view the bids, and if you actually do want to make a bid, you have to sign in. So that's been changed from V1. And the more and more of these get transferred around, the price history will populate. You'll be able to see, you'll see a curve and a graph and whatnot as how the price is moving around on the NFT. Yeah, so that's what I got for the marketplace for now.
Definitely liking new updates. And you said this page is available now, or it's almost finished?
It's almost finished, yeah. So I'm still working on a little bit of tweaks and contract integrations, but yeah, it's coming along nicely.
All right, and then can you show our people in here some of the backgrounds and then the borders and how that relates to the NFTs that you have?
Sure. Let's see. We'll go into this one here. So it's just an attribute. It's the same as the common or the brand new and the cat and whatnot. So the backgrounds and borders, they're just essentially pulled from a pool of different backgrounds, different borders, that sort of thing. In terms of our Lix NFTs, they're all calculated together in terms of a rarity and a rank. So if you have the ranking goes from 1 to our collection total, which is 8,888. So if you have rank 1, you have basically the highest ranked NFT, which includes the rarest attributes. So you'll see this one has a value of 200D gold, and NFTs that have 200D gold have 6.9% of the collection have that. If you do have a unique NFT, those are one of the top 8, so they'll be like rank 1 of 8 in that sense. And in a different sense, this the score and the rank is not necessarily based on the rarity. So you could have a common NFT that has a higher score than a Devious NFT per se.
Okay, and then for your cards, do you plan on having anything for when you're doing the dueling in the future? Have you thought about doing trap cards or escape ones where if you use them, you have to use a certain amount of D gold to place it?
Oh, that's a good point, actually. Good something to think about for sure. A lot of that PvP stuff is not hasn't been fleshed out yet. We're basically working on the single player, player versus computer for now, but that's something to be noted for sure. It's a great idea. The more utilization we can have for the D gold, the better. Better for the investors. Better for the platform. The more we can have it moving around with those taxes, the better for everyone.
For sure. And then when the players are playing, I know you have a little bit of backgrounds, but do you have a background mat where you can lay the cards, I guess, and play them like that until the game gets upgraded, until the 3D movement portion?
Essentially, like the cards will be displayed as like on the bottom of the screen, right? You'll be able to select a different cards, different your actions. It'll just be recycled throughout your turns. So you'll be able to select, if you have 3 turns on your character, you can select 3 cards. After that, your turn's over, and it gets recycled back into your hand. It's essentially like using a card deck. It'll pull a certain amount of cards into your operating deck, and then it'll allow you to use those cards in that action. And then once you're completed, it'll kick over to the enemy, and they'll take their turn, and then it comes back to you, and it'll draw 3 to 5 new cards.
That's pretty cool. So do you have a limit on your deck? So when you're playing, let's say maybe you have 20 cards that you think are your best. Is there any limits, or is it kind of a free-for-all? If you have 100 different NFTs, you could be playing against someone with 10, or how are you going to regulate that?
Yeah, so right now it's just, if you have 100 NFTs, it'll select like a random selection based on what you have in your arsenal, I should say. So someone that has 10 NFTs compared to someone that has 100, there's a lot more variety in the one that has 100, but they'll essentially get played the same amount. We might actually utilize some sort of gated feature in the future, but for now, the more NFTs you have, the more you have at your disposal. But it's going to be a random selection, each turn that you have, and it'll just cycle through. It'll cycle through the cards. Yeah.
Perfect. I like that because sometimes it's going to be harder for someone getting on board to, try and duel and things like that if they don't have the cards. So it's kind of a good evening for the playing ground.
Yeah, exactly. And that would really only be a problem with PvP. Once people with more NFTs obviously would have more selection of actions to take, but each character will only have a certain amount of actions they can take per turn. They'll just have different different NFTs, different actions they can take at their will. But yeah, definitely an interesting system, and it's essentially like a digital card game, which I think really fits into the NFT space, especially the look and feel of our Lick NFTs.
Definitely, I definitely like the long-term reach, and then just kind of with everything going on in society with the shutdowns and all that, it's kind of a good way to get together with people, maybe friends and family, and play long distance versus in your house. But one more final thought or idea that I was thinking of for your game, when you're doing your duels, maybe have a trader's tent or something like that where you can buy supplies using the D gold, or maybe sell NFTs to a trader tent. That way you can kind of prolong the fight and then make it a little more interesting as well.
Yeah, so integrating the actual D gold in the game is an exciting feature. So yeah, we can definitely have like a hub area, like you mentioned with that tavern, that tavern we have there. Yeah, if you have a card that you don't normally use and you want to put it up for sale, I'd like to say we could utilize that in the game, but that's what our marketplace would be for. So if you want to trade around your actions, essentially, you could utilize our NFT marketplace. But yeah, we should be able to utilize D gold as well in the game. You'll not only be able to earn D gold by playing, but utilize D gold in terms of buying new stuff.
Yeah. So I did have one more technical question when I was looking through the tokenomics and the overall, I guess, health of the ecosystem. So with the buys, the taxes are a lot less. So basically, your ecosystem is more or less built on the cells. So if you don't have a decent amount of cells, where's the revenue coming to support everything?
So, yeah, I mean the taxes on a buy is 5%. I mean that's hard coded in the contract as being the limit. We're really base it on utilization of the D gold in our marketplace, and in our future game. So, the more people that get involved in it, more people that utilize it and spend it, it'll in turn lead to a sell of that D gold, which will collect that 15% as well. But I believe we'll be sustainable in the 5%. And if people do decide to sell, then there is a higher tax in that sense. But,
okay.
but yeah, we're just working on utilizing, building out, more use cases for that token.
Okay, so I guess final suggestion, and then we'll start taking questions. Maybe to enter a game within your game, so maybe your character can do like an archery shoot or something like that, something that's challenging, but they'll have to spend more D gold to kind of get that cell pressure in there, and then kind of build up the ecosystem, make a little more revenue as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we can even have tiers of difficulties. If you want to challenge yourself more, possibly earn more D gold, to actually enter that battle, you'll have to actually put up some D gold of your own. Just burn that away. But definitely a lot of things we can build out in that sense.
Right on. Well, I really enjoy the new features of your website, and like you said, the speed has been greatly increased, so it's looking really good. We're going to open up the floor to questions from people. So if anybody has anything to ask, please get on the mic and let Fitz know what you're thinking.
Hey, JM, I think we have a couple questions in the chat room. I think it's under our thread there.
Hey,
Yeah,
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Yeah. My marketing is sorry. My question is regarding your marketing strategy. How will you implement your marketing strategy? Do you have any kind of programs or campaigns to interact with your users more to gain more investors globally?
Yeah, so I'm working like I said, very closely with Captain Pound Town, or Zach, as he's known on there. He is helping me with the marketing side. We are looking into some actual visual ads to place on various websites and whatnot. But we are looking into getting more partners involved in our NFT marketplace, so they'll host their collections on our marketplace, and it'll bring more eyes and ears into utilizing DGold. And also, while you're there, you can stop in and mint an NFT and get to staking that NFT.
Okay, yeah.
And go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I mean, are you done? I want to ask our next question.
Sure.
Okay, yeah. I see some networks like Phantom, Polygon, they have the advantages of speed and transaction fees. Is the team planning to download their projects to other blockchain networks anytime soon?
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that question. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay, I mean, I see some networks like Phantom, Polygon. They have the advantages of speed and transaction fees. Is the team planning to download their project to other blockchain networks anytime soon?
Not necessarily more blockchains. No, we are on Binance Smart Chain, which I believe it's fairly quick and fairly low cost for now. Yeah, there's no real plans of moving to any other blockchains at this time.
Lastly,
Sure.
what are the ways for your project to generate revenue in the long run?
To generate revenue, yeah. So it's basically a revenue generation as our NFT marketplace. So we're really looking to push that out, get more collections, get more communities involved in the marketplace, and get things moving around in that sense. Yeah. So with in that sense, like I said earlier, a portion of the NFT sales through the marketplace goes back into our token. So that just helps that ecosystem.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Good
You're
luck.
welcome. Yeah. Thanks for the questions.
All right, we did have one that was written in our announcement channel, so I'm going to go over that. How safe is your smart contract from bots, hacks, and attacks, and how would you solve the liquidity problems, because most projects face liquidity challenges? Entirely, how will you regard this as a safe investment?
I'm not entirely sure what you mean by the liquidity problems in that sense, but we are audited. We might look into getting another audit in the future. But yeah, I mean, our contract is not renounced, as we need to basically update things from time to time for now. We may look into going to a V2 contract in the future for our token, just to include more features and just upgrade it in that sense.
Okay, so I know there's a lot of questions in that one. So one of the main ones in there is, how do you protect the contract from bots and hacks?
I mean, well, bots, there is a limiting feature for the transactions in that sense. So there's a limit on transactions that you can utilize for DGold. But I mean, other than that, there's not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot we can do in that sense. The contract is sound. Outside of that, there's not much we can do there.
Okay, and for anybody wondering, the max token transaction limit is going to be 500,000, correct?
Correct, yeah. So you can see that on our website.
Perfect. And then one thing I did not ask about was we did talk about staking multiple times. Is that going to be a fixed APR, or is it going to be the standard pool where it might start off at 600 or 700%, but based on the number of members, it's going to change the percentages?
So yeah, so the percentages are fairly modest, should say. They're not, they're not crazy APYs or anything. But it is based on how many NFTs are in that specific pool. So if more NFTs are minted, and if the common pool starts to fill up, then that APR will drop, yeah, for sure. It is a different system for staking. So essentially, your NFT is valued at 0.45 BNB, the same as the minting price. Once you do stake it, as an example, like if the pool is 100% APR, you will get a portion of that 0.45 BNB back per day, essentially, and that will allow you to basically gives you a buying power of either D Gold or Affinity, which is what you choose to stake for. So I mean, a little bit of rambling there, but in that sense, you don't necessarily collect the tokens based on staking. You collect essentially you collect buying power based on that APR. So if your staked token, say if you're staked for a D Gold, if D Gold is going up in price, your pending balance of D Gold will be going down, as it's based on that BNB underlying value. So as a strategy, if it's going up, you're better off claiming often on the way up, and if it is going down, you're better off just holding off till the token reaches the bottom, which will net you the most amount of tokens.
Gotcha. So with the NFTs, does the rarity play into the amount of percentage that you're getting on the variable rate?
Yes, it does. Yeah. So the commons will be the lowest tier, and the unique is the highest tier. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So we have six pools. Yep.
Okay. So can you explain the 6 pools and how that works with the rarity of your card?
Yeah. So each rarity has its individual pool. So we actually have 12 pools in total, 6 for D Gold and 6 for Affinity. So if you have let's say we have a rare NFT, you can go in to stake that NFT only in the rare pool. And, that's kind of in the middle in terms of the APR. So it'll get more than the commons and less than the Devious. But if it's based on the rarity of that NFT.
Perfect. I like the strategy and the kind of breakdown of how you use your NFTs to do that. Does anybody else have any questions for Fitz?
I've gotten a question whenever it comes to the cross staking that you have. I've heard the name Affinity mentioned, and I've actually seen in a bunch of chats people talking about how Devious Licks NFTs are freaking amazing because as an Affinity holder, I guess they get a very generous payout. As a person interested specifically in your project and not necessarily Affinity, how is that cross staking agreement benefiting D Gold and the other Devious Licks NFTs? Like, is it mainly you're doing cross staking in order to have Affinity tied in for advertising and getting future holders? Or is Affinity kind of funding the rewards from their end and then using you as a platform to get out there on another level?
So with us hosting their NFTs and also allowing the minting of their NFTs, they are providing a little bit of a kickback in terms of buy and burn on their D Gold token. But the rewards for staking, it basically just turns a D Gold value into Affinity. So staking for Affinity produces a sell on the D Gold. Staking for D Gold produces just a transfer from our contract into your wallet in that sense. The Affinity pools will not be, they won't be long term. They're a temporary thing for the community. As it is a negative thing for the token itself. Like I said, they won't be around forever. But we do appreciate all the help that Affinity has provided.
All right, so it looks like we have a couple more questions for you in the announcement channel. So this is from Ricky VM. What would you prioritize for success of your project? Marketing, community, project development, or price growth?
Ooh, I think price growth would probably be the least important in my sense. It isn't. I guess it is important in terms of the staking rewards and whatnot, but community and project development is definitely one of the biggest things. So we want to basically kick out the biggest and best project that we can possibly deliver for the community, and also build that community up to, they're solid now. We just want to keep that mentality in our community and just grow that exponentially. But community and project for sure, the top things in my mind.
Hello,
Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hello.
A good day, sir.
Good day. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah. How are you?
Yeah, cool. I can see you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
So please, can you just explain your tokenomic distribution?
Distribution, yeah, in sense of like a buy and sell, or what would you like to know?
Yeah, buy and sell.
For sure, yeah. So like I said earlier, the tax for buying is 5%, and tax for selling is 15%. I think it's fairly common in the space to have something similar to that. But a little bit something that might be unique to this project is that we have a high burn rate. So 5% on your buy is going to, 2% of the buy is going to a burn, and 2% of a sell is going to a burn as well. So now on the buying side, 2% is going back to holders, and we have 0.5 going to marketing and 0.5 going to staking pool, and that totals 5%. And I believe we have eliminated the marketing portion, and that's been reverted into the staking pool. So I believe right now it's 1% into staking and zero kickback into marketing. And in terms of the sell tax, we have 5% liquidity and 6% back to holders. So just by holding that D gold, you'll get 6% on each sell, 2% on each buy.
Wow, that's great. That's impressive. I have a question to ask.
Sure.
Okay, is your project open for small buyers, or for elites, like small? What's the minimum buy, like if I want to invest?
For the token itself, yeah, there's no minimum. Get involved with whatever you'd like to in that sense for the token side. For the NFT, it is 0.45 BNB is the minimum price to grab yourself one of those NFTs.
Okay, that's cool. So for project development, first of all, the main priority is to have enough fund. Does your team have financial capable to run the project?
I didn't quite catch that question there. Can you repeat it?
Like for a project development first, their main priority is to have enough fund to develop the project. Hope your team are financially capable for it to run the project.
So yeah, in terms of funding development, I mean, a portion of the NFT sales is going directly into research development and hosting and whatnot. Yeah, as long as we have NFTs to mint, we'll be able to collect a portion of that BNB and directly utilize that in terms of marketing and development.
That's good. So truly, you guys have done a lot of AMA with Telegram groups. So what next? Like, what other ways would you like to make your project popular?
Well, I mean, we're looking at the various crypto listings, CMC, CoinGecko, that sort of thing. That's in our near future. I believe we already applied for CoinGecko. We're just waiting on that. But yeah, we'll just continue to utilize AMAs, utilize social media. Get our name out there, various contests and whatnot we have going on. and utilizing that possible upcoming context marketing in terms of ads and whatnot. So it's definitely, we're focused more on organic growth, and in the future we'll be able to, keep pushing that.
Yeah, that's cool. So do you guys also have plans to spread awareness, like in some projects where English, like other projects, like you say Chinese, Turkey, like other countries that don't do speak English? How do you plan to spread awareness?
So yeah, we can look into getting different Telegram groups and whatnot set up for various languages. But I mean, the most part of our community do speak English, but we will look into branching out in the future for that. And if anyone wants from those communities, if anyone would like to be involved in speaking on our part, then I'm all ears for that.
So, like for investors like me, because if I want to invest, we have to clear all my doubts before I can come in and buy. I can't just come in because a lot of scam projects are out there now.
Yeah,
So
definitely. I mean,
so
do your own research on the projects, and
how is the security like how is the security in your projects? Investors are always interested in that. Like, how strong is the security in blockchain? Like,
I mean, so with our contracts, I mean, there's really no point of attack in that sense. There's from what we found, there's no real vulnerabilities in that sense in the contracts. Yeah, obviously do your own research, but if this is definitely a solid project, small team, something you can definitely get. Once you're in there, you definitely get. It's a safe project for sure.
so that's good. That's interesting. I heard more. Please, sorry, my question is much. I just want my dad to be clear on, so I can come invest, and for my friend and family too. I will also tell them about your project, because I have a lot of token I'm holding right now.
Yeah, I mean, like they said, there's tons of tokens around. Tons popping up every day.
Like, what's the benefit of holding long-time investments? Can you tell me about the motivation and benefits for investors to come keep your token in the long time run? Just tell me the motivation about it. So, investors, they'll come in, they'll buy, once launched, they'll swap and sell. But just the motivation for investors to keep holding. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, each investor is different. I can't speak for everyone, but we do have a long-term vision for the token, for the project itself. Utilizing our marketplace, utilizing our D Gold in the game itself, and much more NFTs in the future. So, I mean, if that's something that's interests you, that definitely jump in. But obviously, it's completely up to you whether you want to get in or not.
Sure, that's cool. That's cool. So let's go on. Let's go on. I still have a lot of questions, but I think some people else will ask questions to us. So let me give space so they can ask their question. I'll go check.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for your question.
Can you share me your white paper so I'll go get more information? I'm new in your project. I'm just new. I just get in, so you hear me.
Yeah. Well, we don't necessarily have a white paper document, but all the information is on our website, the deviouslicks.io. It's essentially a one-page website. You can scroll through and get the information that you might be looking for on there.
Are you guys also on Twitter, Discord, YouTube?
Yeah, we have Discord. I can post a link in to our chat. Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me get into the Discord. Are you Dev? Sorry. Are you there?
Hello?
He's asking if you're the dev.
Oh, yeah. Yes. I believe D-Dev is the name on the Discord. Yeah. Well, I haven't been on Discord in quite a while, but yeah, it should be the same picture on there.
I really love that, your spirit, like your courage, your voltage Do you get me? Like you're putting in more effort to grow this project. Like you're trying your best. I can see you're working very hard with good potential. Let's keep going on. Let's pop up. Let me go tell family and friend about your talking. So let's go to the moon. Let's keep heading higher.
No, thanks for your questions. Thanks for your kind words. Appreciate your opinions.
And I also appreciate you for your time and your kindness reply to my question. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. Love you. Love you.
Hey Fitz, I got a couple quick questions.
Shoot.
There's a couple other projects that are actually going almost like gasless with on their fees for collecting their rewards. Plus, they're kind of doing that for their gameplay, like when you're getting into some of the metaverses. I don't know exactly how they run their contracts on that, but it's been pretty interesting. One Squishyverse, they're basically getting stuff where you can not have to pay those high Ethereum gas prices. Something to maybe basically look into when you start doing transactions multiple times over and over again, like on the Epic Hero game. The gas just starts going crazy because every time you do anything in the game, it's costing gas. And then when you're collecting rewards, costing gas. So I didn't know if you had any kind of plans for potentially looking into that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So the one thing we can look into in terms of like a gasless, it won't be 100% gasless, but it'd definitely be limiting. Is updating the state of your character once you actually log out of the game. So and once you actually are in playing the game, everything is captured on our server, and then once you log out, or once you actually choose to solidify the actions and that sort of thing, at that point you can pay the transaction fee and update your character. So it's something that we're looking into, and just to eliminate individual transactions for everything you're doing.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how they run it. It's almost like a separate testnet type of a service, to where you can do your regular stuff, and then when you come back into the real world, you'll get one gas versus 50 transactional gas fees. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So there should be an option where if you're halfway through and you want to just bail out for the day, then you can just log out at that point, and then update your character if you have any increases. And at that point, it'll utilize the gas to actually update the metadata on the chain.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right, I'm going to go back to the announcement channel. We had a couple more questions for you. So partnership and collaborations are the very backbone in every project that is more widespread. Can you list some of your partners with us?
For sure. So we have obviously Affinity is one of our main ones, our first one. We are actually involved with RocketFi as well. So our token is available for on their staking platform. One of 10, I believe, on that platform, and we're always looking to expand that as well, in terms of different collections coming into our marketplace. We are looking at various projects that are looking to launch NFTs, and this is a great place for them to actually host them.
Awesome, I like that. So we got another question here. What are the ways that your project generates profit? And for the revenue, how do you sustain it? And what is its model?
So the profit itself will be based on the volume going through the marketplace. So based on the fees, transaction fees of buying and selling NFTs through that system. We'll generate fees. Like I said, part of it will go back to holders. Part of it goes into the token in terms of a buy and burn. So revenue generation will be through the marketplace and through various partnerships.
Okay, and then there was a lot of questions in one, so I'm going to do the next part of it. How can it be mutually beneficial for both the investor and your project?
For the project, like a portion of the fee goes into, like a marketing wallet in that sense, to further develop everything. So in that sense, it benefits the project. We can utilize that to grow, host more collections and create more partnerships. And for the holder, the more volume going through the marketplace, the more utilization for the token is more reflections for token holders and more rewards for NFT holders in that sense too. The more volume we have through the marketplace is beneficial to both sides.
Okay. And then the next question is, if the bear market comes, will your token potentially dump?
Obviously I can't tell the future, but I think with our solid community, I don't really see that happening. If the market dumps, there's not much we can do about that as a whole. But I think with our solid community, I think we'll be fine. If everything does go down quite a bit, the APRs on the staking might have to go down just to balance things out. But I think we're in a good situation.
Okay, the other portion of that question is going to be, so what do you have planned in case this happens, and how do you prevent panic selling? What kind of rewards or things are you planning on doing to keep people interested in the project and utilizing it even in a bear market?
I guess, in terms of panic selling, we can offer, if you don't sell in a panic sell, we can offer various NFTs and rewards in the future. If you don't participate and if that does, come along. But in a bear market, like I said, we can just, decrease the APRs and staking, which will flatten out everything. And we'll just keep trucking along, working on our stuff.
I can answer just a little bit of that for you too, as Fitz has kind of seen as well from our affinity crew. We have a lot of very big diamond hand holders, pretty much in this as well. So we have a very strong community, and we're known for Affinity, RocketFi, a lot of other places that we've been invested in that we don't really just try to dump on charts, and that's a pretty strong crew.
Yeah, thanks for
that. So we do have another question in here. It says, most NFT games currently suffer low players due to the base of the initial cost being more expensive for NFTs. How do you plan to attract a large group of players with the higher costs?
So, the cost to get involved in that, if you want to get involved with the LIC, you will have 0.45 BNB as your entry price. You'll be getting a little bit of D gold, and to offset the price, you can stake that NFT. Earning yourself, back some D gold in that sense, and you'll be getting a thief to utilize in the game. And outside of the one-to-one airdrop for the licks, the thieves will be going up for sale on the marketplace utilizing D gold. So, if the 0.45 BNB might be too much, you might be able to grab a thief on the marketplace for a cheaper price.
Perfect. And then I guess I had one more thing, another potential way to generate revenue. Maybe think about setting up an open marketplace where users can trade items between each other and do maybe a $1 transaction fee or something like that, or a token burn for the amount of usage.
That's a good feature. Yeah, we can look into that, definitely. So, the contract that we have for the marketplace, there is a feature where you can, if you want to do a peer-to-peer transfer for maybe a set price or even a low price, you can actually set a whitelisted address, so only that one person could be involved in that transaction. So if you have a friend of yours that wants to, buy your NFT, you can whitelist them on there, and they're the only one that can get involved in that.
Yeah, it'd be awesome for, like I said, getting group play into the game and kind of boosting the amount of people using it. Is there anybody else in here that has any questions for Fitz?
Yeah, I'm actually curious about NFTs in general, but since you're knowledgeable on this because you got a pretty successful project, You mentioned whitelisting somebody to buy your NFT. Is it possible to trade NFTs person to person, like a crypto? Like I could just transfer to somebody? Or is there some kind of a benefit or incentive to use a marketplace and then create a whitelist?
Yeah, good question. So the NFTs, like essentially they are a token. They're individualized tokens. So outside of marketplaces, yeah, you can send an NFT to whichever address you'd like. But in terms of like uh, a transaction, if you wanted to actually get, a token or a BNB out of the transaction from the other party, then the marketplace is kind of an escrow service in that sense, to where you'll put up your NFT if you want to transfer it to somebody and you want to make sure that they pay for it. That's a good way to do that.
Okay, got it. So it's not like somebody who I could actually, put my hands around their throat if they don't pay up. This is like you're the security measure, you're the trusted source that kind of facilitates the trade to make sure that one person gets the NFT on one end and then the other person gets the BNB on the other end.
100%, yeah. So that's a basic idea of the marketplace in general. And with that whitelisting feature, that won't be available, on the first launch, but it will be coming in the future. But the whitelisting just ensures that only the one person that you're, interested in will be involved in that transaction. But in terms of overall, NFT transactions in the marketplace, yeah, it's essentially, we're the trusted source, and you put your NFT up for sale, and it only gets transferred to the highest bidder.
Okay, yeah, what confused me was you said your friend, so I'm thinking like, well, if I wanted to give an NFT to my friend, I'd just send it to him. But you're talking about just people that you know but don't really know, and then making that safe. But that is pretty cool. The if you could provide the service with whitelisting, I mean, that's an awesome accommodation to have. If you were to provide such service, do you have any speculative price of investment in your project that somebody would have to have in order to get a whitelisted service to trade NFTs?
Not at this point. It would definitely be based on the market value of our token at that point. But it's a good thing that you mentioned that. We can actually have an entry point where if you want to be able to utilize that feature, you either have to hold a certain amount of D gold in your wallet, or the transaction itself will take, be able to spend a certain amount of D gold, just to basically ensure that one person that you're dealing with gets the NFT in that sense. But yeah, it's definitely a cool feature, and I haven't really seen that in any other marketplace.
And then with NFTs, I am super new to it. I've only gotten a few, and I kind of bought stuff that wasn't worth anything just because I thought they were cool. But I've seen some projects with NFTs where they just have like a simple spreadsheet document, and you got to manually go through and find all the features and your rarity scale and all that. And then I've seen some websites like marketplaces that rate them for you. Is there any capability, and might your marketplace have it, to where it can, like in an automated sense, rate NFTs, or is that a NFT to NFT facet that one person can't universally take on, or one project can't take on?
So yeah, that's a good question. Basically we just pull in the information from the blockchain on the NFT collection, pull in the metadata for the NFT collection, and we can devise our the ranking system based on that. So essentially, like within our marketplace, if you have a collection, and you'd be able to provide the proper information to us, we can submit a ranking, do that all essentially manually, but in an automated way. So like it gets inputted into our database, provided to you on the marketplace as like I demonstrated earlier. It shows the attributes of the NFT. Our current version of the marketplace, I believe you can filter it through based on the different attributes, and that's a feature that will come in the future for our V2 as well.
Cool. Yeah, I just didn't know if there was some way to have like an advanced or an enhanced marketplace that could do like an automatic read of the token and then compare it to others. Just like there's one project out there that's doing a wallet that reads other rewards to where you don't have to use individual rewards dashboards. So it'd be kind of cool to see on the NFT side if there was an automated way to pick up, but maybe it's more complex than what I realize, and that's just me from a consumer standpoint who's kind of getting new into it.
Yeah, I mean, there's websites and services in that sense. Like I think Rarity.tools, or in that sense, they can list to list the collections that are fully minted in that sense, and you kind of compare it that way. But yeah,
yes, but
in terms, sorry, go ahead.
You're comparing that to, I don't know if this question is this or not, but you're comparing it not collection to a separate collection. You're actually comparing it to every other NFT in that collection, because there's no way to compare that apples to oranges. Like, hey, we decided that this Bored Ape gets some type of an extra multiplier or so. But yeah, there's a lot of different websites that already are providing the Rarity, like Rarity tools.
Got it. So yeah, without knowing what the whole collection is, you can't just read it off of one. It's not like a code within one that tells you what it has out of what it could have. You have to actually know of all of them in order to compare them.
And
yeah,
that's the meta.
Yeah, so it looks into what's been minted already. And if there's metadata that's been published to IPFS, which includes all the metadata for the entire collection, that's something we can grab as well and utilize that for the rarity. But in terms of this collection versus that collection, I don't think that's possible unless you're just basing it on scores and whatnot. The score is based on the single NFT in that one collection.
Got it. Yeah. So, I mean, even looking at the NFT that I use for my image, which is worth nothing, I just think it looks cool. You got like the background, you got the color of the skin, you got how many teeth, whether it's what expression, emotion it has, what the eyes are doing, eyewear, headwear, earwear, so many different features. So I didn't know, because I don't read code, if there's something in the code that is just a check a box, yes, no on each one, or if it was something deeper. So just as a person who's interested and having an expert here in chat, figured I'd ask, what the limitations are with what's out there, and then what you guys provide out of that.
Yeah, so the individual NFT, they don't really have, they have the attributes listed, but they don't have the percentages of the overall collection. So what you have to do is you basically have to look at every NFT in that collection, calculate everything all together, and then divvy up in that sense. So you have to have a picture of the overall collection before you can individualize with those attributes.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the explanation, and I definitely like some of your stuff too, but it seems like they don't just look cool, they have value. So I'll personally be checking you out. Been watching you in other chats. I saw you in the Disco Burn Token competition. And I've seen you, I can't remember where else. I think Anti-Ruggers before this one, but yeah, it seems like there's a growing community. Glad to see that the community's starting to pull over to like USA crypto. And it's kind of reassuring whenever a number of different groups or projects that I follow seem to be intertwined. Gives you that reassurance that it's something safe to look into, that's going to be most likely profitable if you stick in there.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's one thing that we're big on, as well as the whole Unite DeFi movement. We want to encompass all these different projects that they're essentially safe projects with great communities. We want to group them all together. I believe if they're interested in NFTs, like I said, a lot of them are interested in having their own collections. So we're definitely interested in hosting their collections in here. Just working together.
All right, so we didn't have a question, but I did see that SafeWound in there posted kind of what Matt Trinity was saying, that you guys had over 700 votes for the Disco Burn token. So that's pretty impressive. That means that your community put in $3,500 minimum. It's all based on market value, so it could have been even more. It could have been closer to $4,000 just to vote for your project as one of the top competitors. So congratulations to that. From here, if there's no more questions from anybody, I'd like you to give us a brief breakdown or synopsis of your project and why we should buy into it.
So yeah, in terms of whether or not you should buy into it, it's up to you. But if you're definitely into NFTs, if you're curious or if you're a veteran, it's an interesting project to get involved in, providing staking rewards and future utility, as well as with the marketplace as well. So if you're into the token side of things, we have the D Gold. If you're into NFTs, we have those collections involved. Yep, I definitely appreciate your time, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks much. So if you guys are interested in the gaming experience and RPG style roleplay, please check out Devious Licks. Once again, it's important to do your own research. Make sure this project is right for you. We do provide information and questions, but at the end of the day, once again, it's up to you as the consumer to decide if it's your choice to buy in or not. We do want to ask you guys to go over to the Devious Licks Telegram chat that has been posted and post that USA Crypto Group sent you and that you enjoyed the AMA, or if you have further questions, please get a hold of Fitz. Let him know what you're thinking about the project, comment, suggestions, and ways to purchase if you have that. We're going to close the chat from here for Devious Licks, but if you guys want to stick around for a couple of minutes and talk, you're more than welcome to. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Hey everyone. So for those that are listening right now, our cash price drawing guy, he's not in at the moment, but we have everything recorded, so we will do the drawing tomorrow. Okay, and if those that went to Devious Licks room and mentioned that we sent you guys there, he will pick 2 winners from there, and he will send us the wallet, and we will give you the cash. And I appreciate you guys coming in.